What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Handmade and Beyond podcast. I'm your host, LL, leader of the handmadeandbeyond.com website and community. I'm a self-employed entrepreneur, an Etsy expert, and business coach who's figured out how to make my entire living with my handmade business. Each week, I'll dive into strategies and success tips to help you with your handmade business, with Etsy, and everything in between. Let's dive in. All right, guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the Handmade and Beyond podcast, where we talk about everything Etsy, how to start, build, and grow your business, give you hopefully some tips, some tricks, some tactics, some motivation, whatever you guys need to get your business going and reach your goals, exceed your goals. That is my goal and my hope for you. So I'm coming at you today with, I have a Zoom background that I'm testing out because it's been so cold throughout most of the country. We've been getting different cold spells here in Florida, but nowhere near as bad as some of you guys. So I feel you, but I put up a beach backdrop. So I'm not actually at the beach, but I'm trying this whole Zoom background thing to play around. But I thought, hey, let's all feel warm and like we're at the beach together today. So that's what I did. So behind me, if you're listening to this, it has a palm tree. It has some rolling waves. It's pretty cool. It works pretty good. It's cutting off a little bit of my ear, but that's neither here nor there. Anyways, I wanted to mix it up a little bit for you guys, so it's just not the same old backdrop that I normally have in my office. But I am not at the beach. I am doing work for you guys today, and I'm back with another good episode for you as well. Today, I'm going to cover: should you sell outside of Etsy? It's a topic that a lot of people ask about, and it always comes up. When you start, you open a business on Etsy, you're like, especially if it's not going well, you're like, should I go to other sales channels, other means? Should I be doing other stuff besides this or in addition to this? Well, really the answer is it depends. It's not an easy it's not a black and white answer, put it that way, because it is always beneficial with whatever you do to put more lines in the water. The more lines you have in the water, the more chances of success you will find. It's just like if you go for a job interview, if you apply to just one job, the chances of you getting that one job, and the only job that you apply to, is going to be slim. But if you apply to 10 jobs, your chances are going to increase dramatically. If you apply to 20 jobs, you're probably definitely going to get a couple of job offers. So that's kind of the same thing with, in a business, running a business online. If you have more lines in the water, if you're selling on multiple places, you do have more chances of success. However, I want to preface that with saying that there are instances where you may want to not expand quite yet. So if you're just starting out, if you're building out your business infrastructure, if you only have a couple of products, a couple of listings, you probably should hold off on trying to expand right away until you get your Etsy stuff built out to where you're comfortable with that. Because what happens is people will start an Etsy shop, they have 10 products. Things don't go well, so then they start their own website with those 10 products. Things don't go well there, then they start selling on other channels. Maybe it's eBay or something like a channel like that. Things don't go well there, and then maybe they start something else. So nothing is working. So then they just close everything all together because they think nothing is going to work. This online thing is a fraud. It doesn't work. It's a scam. People, are just pulling your leg when they say that it does work. Well, the problem is you can't. That's not a viable business. So you have to think about it in terms of from a business perspective. If you're going to open a retail store, are you going to open it with 10 products? Are you going to open it without any branding, without any of that stuff built out? Probably not. So whereas selling online, it's much easier to get started, you still have to approach it from an actual business standpoint, where you got to bring a decent line of products to start with. You got to have, good branding where it makes sense. And you have to have, good product and be ready to sell multiple products as well. So I would just encourage you to Think about it from that perspective, and then that'll help you determine if you're ready to kind of branch out. So once you kind of broach that and then figure out if you're ready, I would then look into where and how you're going to sell at other places. And what you're going to like different channels that you're going to do to sell on. So, are you going to sell on other online sales channels? Or are you going to try to do uh, retail brick and mortar sales channels? So, you have to approach the different options for you depending on your niche that may be good. For you to move into those markets as well. So you have to look and see, is it going to be beneficial for you? Is it going to be profitable for you? Um, and is it going to be super time consuming or not for you to sell in those channels? Because some of them, depending on online or brick and mortar, could be less or more profitable, could be less or more time consuming, and less or more beneficial. So you really have to make sure that it's a good fit for you. So, for instance, if you want to sell locally at a market, that may be a good thing. However, if you have to make a bunch of inventory beforehand, you don't know if it's going to sell, you don't know what kind of traffic is going to come to that market. That may not be a good idea, at least not right away, because you could be starting in a pretty significant hole. However, if you want to partner with a local retailer and they want to buy your stuff wholesale, yeah, you're going to be taking a little bit of a hit on profit margins, but they're paying you up front for a bulk order of stuff. That could be a better option for you if you're early on in your journey to start. Get that influx of cash. At a smaller discount. No risk in that. And then you could also be building a good relationship. If your stuff does well, they're going to keep buying from you. So that may be a better alternative. And the other thing that you could do is consignment, but again, that's kind of the same market scenario. We got to produce the inventory up front and then wait for it to sell. When you're just starting out, I don't like that business model just because it is a lot more risk. It's a lot more money up front to have that inventory or bunch of inventory on hand. So I like to start out lean. So you wait and see if it's going to be successful before you have a ton of inventory, a ton of sunk costs into your products. Now, as far as online, you have to approach, if you're going to be moving into other sales channels, let's just use eBay as an example. Maybe your audience is on there, maybe they're not. So the same thing applies. You have to consider all the fees when it comes to selling on eBay, and then your pricing structure and your profit margins. Depending on your niche, eBay charges different final value fees. They charge listing fees. So it may or may not be profitable or worth it to sell your niche on eBay. But you may have a big audience on eBay, so maybe it will. Maybe you can sell a lot more on there. But those are things that you have to invest not money, but you have to invest time doing the research, doing your due diligence. And also, when you're selling on other sales channels, you have to recreate listings. You have to do SEO optimization for those platforms as well. Learn that. While if you're just starting out on Etsy, trying to learn everything there, you're not going to want to learn all the new stuff for the new platform right away. Down the road, yes. But if you're trying to figure out Etsy, that's another reason to not branch out in all these different sales channels, because everyone has their own quirks, their own SEO, their own best practices and ways to do things, and their own audiences as well. So that can be another deterrent. If you're looking to, a lot of people get frustrated with Etsy and they're like, I'm just going to start my own website. And that could be a good thing. That could help build brand recognition, value, professionalism. However, what you're doing when you go to your own website is you are foregoing the millions and millions of customers that already come to Etsy. And then you're competing while selling on Etsy, you're competing with other Etsy sellers. When you go to your own website, you're competing with the entire internet, the entire online marketplace. You are competing still with Etsy and Etsy sellers, but then you're competing with all the other websites, all the other people on there selling, and you have to drive your own traffic. Whereas Etsy is they're a huge platform. They're already driving traffic. You just have to figure out how to get your piece of the pie, how to improve your stuff, how to sell more of your stuff. Um, your own website is a lot more of a challenge. You're going to have to pay for advertising. You're going to have to really dive into SEO, Google SEO, all that stuff to get a traffic to get more traffic. So it's a much bigger uphill battle that people don't realize, because it's not, unfortunately, you can't just open your own website and it do well and you get sales and traffic right away. You have to put a lot of time and energy into it, just like you do with selling on eBay or Etsy or wherever. But even, I would say, even more so with selling on your own website. So keep that in mind. It could definitely complement what you're doing, but it shouldn't be your answer to low performing Etsy results right away. And a lot of people do jump to that. And I want to see you guys have the best chance of success early on. So I would pick one channel, go all in on that channel, start getting sales on that channel before you add to your portfolio, just so you have a good foundation, a good starting point, and then you can add in the layers. It'll be a lot less stressful for you guys down the road, and you'll be able to have a lot higher chance of success. So hopefully that helps you as far as the question that I always get about selling on other channels or outside of Etsy. It is I think, a good thing to put those other lines in the water when time permits. And if you do your due diligence and do the research and know the reasons why you're doing it and are prepared to do it, I think it can definitely be beneficial. Outside of that, if you guys want more help with Etsy itself, SEO, growing your business, best practices, shop critiques, you want me to look at your shop, you want me to look at your listings, you want me to help you brainstorm or strategize your plan, you guys can jump in the Handmade and Beyond community. You guys can get full access to everything for 30 days free. There is a link below, handmadeandbeyond.com/HB free trial, if I could spell. You can get access to help for them. We do live monthly coaching. We dive into shops. We dive into strategies. We do live walkthroughs. And then I answer questions throughout the help forum every day. And I'm always adding new content, new videos, new courses to help you start, build, and grow your Etsy shop. And the goal is to get everyone in there to become a top 1% seller, so you guys can make more money, get more sales, worry less about selling, and focus on what you guys are really good at, which is creating, bringing awesome things to the marketplace that people buy, bringing awesome things to the world, being creative, and enjoying that aspect of selling. Because for me, that's the favorite thing. I love creating. I love designing. The selling piece, it's good when it's good, but when it's not good, it's stressful and frustrating. So the goal of Handmade and Beyond community is to eliminate that stress, at least have a place to go so you can ask questions and not feel alone, because selling online does get a little lonely sometimes, and you don't know where to turn to help. You may, there's tons of videos online, but you can't ask questions easily, and you don't know who's going to answer the question. So I've been there, I've done it, I've been doing it for years. So I would love to help you out with your business inside Handmade and Beyond. But until next time, I will talk to you guys next week. Have an awesome rest of your day and happy selling.